The stage was set, the lights burned bright. Millions watched as two icons took their seats: Elon Musk, the tech visionary pushing AI into the future, and Keanu Reeves, the beloved actor who embodied human storytelling. Musk leaned forward, a smirk playing on his lips. "Hey Keanu, Hollywood is just nostalgia. AI is the future." The audience chuckled, but Keanu didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned in and asked, "Hey Elon, have you ever watched the sunset?" The room fell silent. The battle between human creativity and artificial intelligence had just begun. Keanu Reeves stepped onto the stage with his signature quiet confidence. The applause thundered through the vast auditorium, but he barely reacted. A small nod, a humble smile. Across from him, seated in a high-backed chair under the bright stage lights, was Elon Musk. The billionaire, known for his ambitious vision, bold declarations, and unfiltered opinions, sat with a smirk. This wasn't just an interview, it was a debate, a battle of perspectives, a clash between two men representing entirely different worlds. The stage was set, the cameras were rolling. Millions of viewers worldwide were watching live. Musk leaned forward, fingers tapping lightly on the armrest. "Keanu," he said with a smirk, "I have to admit, I was surprised when you accepted this invitation." He tilted his head. "AI is the future. Hollywood, on the other hand, is just nostalgia." The condescension in his voice was unmistakable. The audience chuckled, sensing the bait he was dangling. Keanu remained unfazed. He adjusted his blazer, his expression composed as ever. "You know, Elon," he said smoothly, "nostalgia has a way of reminding us what it means to be human." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Musk's smirk wavered for a fraction of a second before he quickly recovered, waving a dismissive hand. "Oh, come on," he scoffed, "you can romanticize it all you want, but facts are facts. I can already generate scripts, create lifelike actors, even compose music. In a few years, Hollywood won't need real people anymore. Machines don't take breaks, don't have egos, and don't age." "You, Keanu, are what, 59 now? Do you truly believe people will still choose you over a perfectly optimized digital actor?" A few gasps rippled through the audience. A sharp jaw, classic Musk, bold, direct, always pressing for control. The cameras zoomed in on Keanu, searching for a reaction, a crack in his calm demeanor. But he only smiled, an almost knowing smile, as if he had already foreseen this moment. Exhaling softly, he leaned forward slightly, mirroring Musk's posture. "Elon," he said, voice smooth yet firm, "have you ever watched the sunset?" A hush fell over the room. Musk blinked, brows furrowed slightly. "A sunset?" he echoed, as though trying to process the relevance. Keanu continued, tone almost casual. "You can take a picture of it, create a perfect AI rendering, even simulate the colors and glow. But does that mean you've truly experienced it?" The audience held its breath, waiting for Musk's response. He opened his mouth, then shut it again, momentarily thrown off balance. Keanu leaned back, letting the words settle. "There's something about real presence," he added, "about being in the moment. That's what makes art, stories, and humanity irreplaceable." The audience erupted into applause. Musk's smirk was gone, replaced by something harder to read. For the first time, he wasn't in full control of the conversation. But he wasn't ready to back down. "All right, Keanu," he said, forcing a chuckle. "Nice analogy. But let's be real. AI isn't just replicating experiences, it's improving them. It can process data millions of times faster than any human. It can learn, adapt, and optimize. The movies of the future won't just be better than today's, they'll be scientifically perfected. I will predict exactly what audiences want even before they know it themselves. People won't miss human actors because the experience will be flawless." His confidence was returning. He leaned back, arms crossed, daring Keanu to refute him. The cameras cut to the audience. Some nodded in agreement, others looked conflicted. And this was where the real battle was unfolding, not just between two men, but between two competing visions of the future. Keanu's fingers tapped lightly on the armrest. He glanced at the audience, then back at Musk. "That's an interesting argument," he said thoughtfully. "But let me ask you something." Musk raised an eyebrow. "If AI is so perfect," Keanu continued, Then why do people still go to live concerts instead of just listening to flawless AI-generated music? Why do they still flock to Broadway instead of watching digital recreations? Why do people still crave real connection when technology can simulate almost anything? Murmurs spread through the crowd. Even Musk hesitated for just a fraction of a second before he could respond. Keanu turned to the audience and smiled. "Let me ask all of you something," he said, voice filling the room. "If you believe human creativity is the raw, imperfect, beautiful way we create art will always matter more than AI-generated perfection, drop a 9 in the comments right now." The live stream chat exploded. Audience members with their phones out immediately began typing. The energy in the room shifted. Musk's jaw tightened. He was losing them. But he wasn't done yet. Leaning forward, gripping the armrests of his chair, he lowered his voice. "You're missing the bigger picture," he said sharply. "AI isn't just about entertainment. It's about efficiency. It's about progress. It's about survival. Humans are slow. They make mistakes. They're emotional. AI doesn't have those weaknesses. And in the end, it's not about what we want. It's about what we need." Keanu tilted his head slightly, considering Musk's words. Then, without breaking eye contact, he asked, "Do you think intelligence is measured by how well something replaces people or by how well it helps them?" The question hung in the air like a weight. Musk's fingers twitched slightly, a barely noticeable movement, but the cameras caught it. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Keanu continued, voice calm yet resolute, "The real question isn't whether I can replace us. The real question is whether we should let it." The audience erupted once more. Musk's face was unreadable, but for the first time, there was no sarcastic retort, no witty comeback, just silence. Keanu turned back to the crowd, nodding as if to let them absorb everything. And as the applause swelled, one thing became evident. This debate wasn't just about AI, it was about the future of humanity. The auditorium shook with applause, but Elon Musk remained still. He was staring at Keanu Reeves, hands clasped tightly together, his usual arrogance replaced by something more rigid, more unsettled. The cameras zoomed in on his face, capturing the flicker of doubt in his expression. Keanu leaned back, relaxed, as if he hadn't just shaken the most powerful tech mogul in the world. He waited, letting the silence stretch a quiet show of dominance. Finally, Musk leaned forward, voice quieter now, more measured. "So what do you propose, Keanu? That we just stop? That we halt AI development because of sentiment?" Keanu shook his head. "Not at all. I'm saying we should ask ourselves what we're creating and why. Not just because we can, but because we should. Technology should empower people, not replace them. Otherwise, what's the point?" Musk narrowed his eyes. "That's an idealistic view." Keanu smiled. "Maybe, but sometimes, idealism is what keeps us human." The crowd murmured. Musk tapped his fingers, a sign of impatience, a sign of calculation. Then, ever so slightly, he nodded. The debate was over, but the conversation was just beginning.